Um, this is what I consider to be like one of the like the template fundamental guard passes. It'll go through to a couple of variations depending on how my partner reacts and how my opponent reacts. But for me, the hardest part about the guard is just simply opening the legs in a position that's usable for me, not usable for my partner. Right, I'll explain that as we go through. Mel, can I get you down here onto your back, please? I'm inside the guard. The most traditional grip for the guard passing is what I call hand high, hand low. And the reason being is my hand that's on the belt, right, that stops the armbar. And the hand that's on the stomach or the chest stops them from sitting up doing hip bump sweeps, etc., because I've got the ability to control them. So even if Mal gets my hand across from here, goes the armbar, if I keep my hand heavy on the hip, it's quite hard for them to complete the armbar, and it gives me the ability to pass the guard, right? Secondly, this one here, what it does is, if Mel tries to break me down, I've got the ability to kind of keep my posture. Does that kind of make sense? And secondly, if she tries to sit up, I've got the ability to keep them down. We're going to go like this. So on the grip that we have from here, there's more space under my right hand side than there is on my left hand side. Bearing in mind that my hand's generally, like I've said, pushing the hip down. So it's hard for me to move my left leg because my weight's on it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to slide my right knee 45 degrees backwards and try and take it out as wide as I can without rocking forward. So it's more that I'm going to go put pressure into my hands, slide it out. And what I'm doing now is I'm taking the weight off my leg because I've taken the hips this way. So I'm not sliding backwards because there's still weight onto this leg, which makes it harder to come up. So my right leg, 45 degrees backwards, left leg, 45 degrees backwards, hands going to the belt. This is the hardest part. I'm trying to create a space for my elbows to go into the inside. I'm doing like a cat stretch. So what I'm going to do is try and take my bottom towards my heels, which means it's both downwards and backwards to open up the guard. So what I see people do is I try and push backwards. The downfall about it is a Mel can still keep the tension onto my legs. But if I go down, now my elbows come into play, and backwards I can use my elbows to pry the legs open. So the space is on my right hand side. Right? I take my right knee 45, left knee 45, regrip. Notice that my shoulders are still quite backwards. I'm not forwards from here. Elbows come in, and what I'm trying to do from here is I'm trying to slide, if I have to, or backwards up onto my toes, slide backwards to open up the guard. What I do want to do right now is I don't want to come up to pass a guard. Number one, I create space. Number two, they can go knee shields with the basic sweep, scissor sweep, etc., etc. So what I do want to do is keep the tension on the legs. I'm not coming up. And this is what I mean by the usable space, because I see people that do the here 45, they go, haha, and which is nothing wrong with this. We'll have a look at this later. The dumbbells, I've given them out a space to be able to go knee shield, bring the knee through, so this kind of puts us back into the game again, where if I'm kind of going 1, 2, hunker down here, if Mel tries to bring the legs back in line.
Can we see that one again, many times?
Really hard?
Yeah.
Okay, so from here. And
I'll top up my account, don't worry.
All right, you guys are partnering up soon? No? Okay, good. Two, hands, cat stretch, toes. I need my toes because I need to have a valley. Right, back, here. And now, I understand that my neck is exposed, but it's quite hard for them. They actually have to almost undo their legs to sit up, so it benefits me either way. 1, 2, 3. I was being nice. So, the head's generally the heaviest part of the body, right? And what I see people doing, this is that little bit of the finer details or the smaller details that's quite important. What I see people do is to move their right knee. They generally go, I'll move my right knee, and what happens is the whole body weight comes forward. So even if your post system's in the way, or your frame system, your head is going over, and your weight's been compromised by taking 45 degrees over your left shoulder. So the person on the bottom, instead of trying to take me forward, my frame system is, if you take me that way, like you're halfway sweeping me, etc. So what I'm trying to do instead, think about this way, is I'm trying to drop down nicely and I'm trying to slide. So my shoulders don't go in front of the glass panel. right? So the second thing I see people do is they go like in my hands are in front, my shoulders are in front. And this makes it easy for my partner to peel the shoulders. What I'm trying to do is try to get my shoulders and elbows back. So I'm kind of like Superman pose or superhero pose kind of thing. The second thing about it, third thing or fourth thing I forgot, I don't know.
The other thing, the next thing.
The next thing, not in chronological order, is we're going, weight goes onto my palms and I'm sliding backwards 45 degrees. When I go 45 degrees, it takes the weight off this knee, which means I can now slide that knee backwards. If I'm simply sliding my leg straight backwards, there's still weight on this knee. So I'm going 45, 45, hands in, right? Now, engage your toes, cat stretch, backwards. Form and hug the knees. So straight away, hug the knees, tip your toes. So if Andrew tries to rescue guard or whatever like that, this is really easy for me to hold and control. I've got to be closer to the knee line and not to his bottom for obvious reasons. Right, so because the knees are able to separate to put you back inside the guard and to hook, where the hips are a solid object. So I'm trying to get these together as much as I possibly can. I'm not trying to get up nice and high. The second thing about the reason why I'm on my toes, it enables me to drop my weight down, which means that there's more weight at the end of the lever, which makes it harder to sweep. What I mean by that is I've seen people go here, so they're on their knees, and they go here. Andrew can still manipulate, like get the hooks and things like that. Where if I go tip your toes, it's harder because my weight's now on the knees. So it's really important that I'm putting my weighted point where it's harder, not impossible for my partner to move it, right? So once again, so superhero pose, shoulders backwards, put a little bit out to the right, a little bit out to the left, hands come on the inside, dropping my bottom down to my heels backwards, engage my toes, back, cat stretch, round the outside, up onto your toes, squeeze the legs together as hard as you can, head to one side, knees to the opposite side. Don't go on the same side, you're a cylinder and you get rolled. What I generally do is as I start to push my head to one side or the other side, depending on what they do, I just like to slowly bring my leg under and start to take my mount from here. Right, so that little space, some of you might not be dexterous enough to do that. Right, so you're going to pass to the outside. If you're dexterous enough with your knees and your hips to come underneath, take the mount position. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Okay. What we're going to have a look at is just the options. What if he gets the knee sheared through? What happens if it goes to half guard? What happens if it goes to quarter guard? So like anything, there's always a chink in the armour in everything we do. Otherwise, we'd just do that one move. It's 100% perfect. We'll just keep doing that one move and it'll be really boring. So, what's happening is, as I'm going to go, I get my grips to slide backwards. This is that opportunity for Andrew to put a knee through. Yeah, you know what I mean? But because I'm spreading my knees out wide, it's quite hard for my partner to now, like it's actually really hard. Even if they get the grip break and pull, once I come up into my toes, it's really hard to, worst comes worst is they're going to end up back inside their full guard. So I haven't lost anything. But because the legs are open, as long as I keep them open, it benefits me. So what we're going to do, the person on the bottom, it's just a little bit of a timing thing. So as I go right leg and left leg, that's when you're trying to get your knee through. Me, this is the most important thing. If I keep my weight onto my left or right knee, it's easier for Andrew to manipulate and sweep me. So I come up onto my toes and my weight goes forward. So this makes it harder. Generally what's going to happen is that we're going to end up stepping and we go to what we call half guard or quarter guard. Depending on whether my knee's done, half guard is basically like above the knee, quarter guard is below the knee, right? So just half of my leg or quarter of my leg. We're in the position where we've got the control. First things first is I'm going to walk to my right, this way. So I extend my right leg, walk to my right, my hand goes under, and I form my wrist on Andrew's TB band. So kind of on the muscle group that's on the knee, and I simply start to drop my weight down and extend.
Oh, I didn't know what my TP band was.
TB, not TP.
Whatever. It hurts.
TP was the medicine we had then.
All the stuff you like your bum.
It's called the ouchie band from now on. Deceptively fucking annoying. Deceptively painful. Yeah, my kind of style of wrestling. Okay, so we're just going to assume that my partner's good at jiu-jitsu.
It's a broad assumption. It's a real suspension of disbelief. Yes, these people to me.
Right leg, left leg, knee comes through from here. Tippy toes, step from here. This is the hardest part, is the grip break. So I'm going to go for grip break. Well, actually, it wasn't that hard at all, really. So punch him in the stomach with my right hand. Pull. Now, even if you can't, walk, hand comes under.
TP back.
Okay. On your tippy toes, drop your hips down onto the leg, make sure your wrist is there, slide your legs backwards, kick your legs straight, pass the guard.
I'd recommend turning around for the camera.
Yeah, do it again. Yeah, on the other side.
Thanks.
No, yeah, on the same side.
Thanks.
On the same side.
Smiling.
2, knee goes through,
Doesn't have to.
tippy toes, step. Okay, punch in the stomach, so punch, pull hand backwards, but the grip break's not as irrelevant. Right, step, hand comes under, head goes side, grip, make sure my wrist is up on the tippy band, drop my hips down nice and slow, put my legs straight, pitch my hips, pass the guard. 1, 2, 3. Coach partners, I want to make it semi-real. And make it semi-real. So what I mean by this is Emma's inside my guard. She goes, create space. 1, 2. For me to sweep, I have to be on my side. I have to be on my side. I'm not going to be here and go, I'll sweep. No, so I have to be on my side. So grips, I have to be on my side. Now, goes on tippy toes, steps over, and I should still be on my side. So this means that you're able to put your wrist under my ouchie TB band. Secondly, is this: if your hips are high, there's no weight. So slowly drop your hips down, pull your hands in and turn. So what you're going to find is you're going to get this reaction to be able to stop you from passing the guard. If you lift my hips up and walk your hips to your right, you're going to keep turning me flat onto my back. Now you can step over with your right leg and get to the, like, you know, Khabib mount kind of style. And this is just bowl constrictor after this. Take your time. Smother, 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 breathe, smother, breathe, smother, breathe. Okay? So that last part, just like you're in such a good position, don't blow it. Just take your time, bowl constrictor style, slow squeeze, little victories on that one. Yep. 1, 2, 3. Have fun.
That's a hug, baby.
We got a hug. For a while.